All right, let's jump into the plot. IMDb plot summary says this. It's not very much. The residents of a lonely gulch in inland California bear witness to an uncanny and chilling discovery. So I actually wrote my own plot summary
That's
because that's pretty
that's all
vague,
it
and
said.
mine is UFO kill.
UFO,
Yeah, UFO
pretty
kill.
much.
And the film, it starts out with that verse that we read from Nahum. It's Nahum chapter 3, verse 6. Now, I looked a little bit into the scripture and what it meant. Now, Nahum was a prophet that was writing to the city of Nineveh or speaking this to them, that it was a warning that Nineveh was going to be destroyed. Nineveh was the capital of Assyria. Now, the story that you probably know about Nineveh is Jonah and the whale. From like 150 years before Nahum, Jonah went to Nineveh to give them a warning that they would be destroyed then. And he didn't want to go because he hated the Assyrians. And he's mad in the story at God because God tells him to go to Nineveh because he wants to have mercy on these people. So he wants to warn them so that they can get better and they can change some of the things. 'Cause the Assyrians were known for skinning people alive, and then they'd go take those bodies to the next town they wanted to conquer. They'd hang them out in front of that city, and they'd say, "Hey, pay us tribute, or we're going to skin you just like we did to all these people at the last town." So Jonah's supposed to go warn them so that they can get better. Tell them, hey, you're going to be destroyed if you don't stop doing stuff like this. And Jonah hates them, so he doesn't want to go. He's mad at God because he's like, why do you want to forgive these people? Just kill me. And Jonah finally goes and he warns them, and the city of Nineveh decides they're going to stop doing that and they're going to get better. But then, like 150 years later, they're corrupted again, and Nahum wrote the scripture that opens up this film. So I was trying to figure out, why did Jordan Peele choose this scripture? Like, what's the connection here? And I'm curious to see what you guys think. But at first, the big story I know about Nineveh is Jonah and the whale. So I thought maybe it had a connection to Jonah, but now I'm starting to think it doesn't. It's just about that Nahum passage about being a spectacle.
I mean, it could be. I mean, you could take it as being part Jonah, because moving forward into the movie, what this it's not a UAP or UFO; it's an actual entity eating people and horses. So um, it's basically little dude, big monster, just like Jonah and the whale. So you could take it as that. I don't think that's why he used it, but it's has a similar feel. So you wouldn't be wrong if you felt that way.
Connecting with what the director said earlier, how he said this movie is about not being able to look away from tragedy. That's when we get this monkey scene right at the beginning, where there's a monkey, there's blood everywhere, there's obviously a body. What do you guys think was going on here?
At the very, very beginning, I
Yeah,
I don't either.
No
It's
idea.
all kind of you're not seeing anything. You're just hearing audience laughter. You're hearing people talk, and then you hear a monkey go nuts. So it's like, okay, that monkey just wipes some people out, and when they finally do show it, you're seeing this monkey just covered with blood, and the only thing you can think of is, well, he apparently had had enough of whatever they were doing, and, and that's it. It was, and the whole time you're trying to wonder, you're trying to figure out how does this tie into the rest of the movie, because then they went away from that, and then they didn't get back to it until later on. So the whole time I kept thinking, like, what does this have to do with everything else? You knew there's going to be a payoff, but trying to figure that out, I had no clue. I had no idea.
And I think that makes the movie a little bit more fun. Because, if you take this movie and you take it back 20 years and do this movie, what would happen is you would have the movie, and then at some point, um, Jupe would talk to somebody about it and they would have a flashback. So to do it this way, where you're just given little bits and pieces as you go throughout the movie, it just gives you another thing for your mind to work on, and how does this work into the rest of the movie, and so yeah, as I was mentioning, how Jordan does really good with storytelling. I kind of like this type of storytelling. He's not the first to do it, but he does it
Mhm.
very well.
Yeah, it's horrifying to juxtapose something good and fun and innocent like a birthday party with a monkey going crazy and killing everybody. So that makes for a pretty effective, shock factor. I mean, that's what people did to clowns a long time ago when Stephen
Mhm.
King wrote It. I mean, we're afraid of clowns now, but there was a time when clowns were like this fun, happy, innocent thing, and now nobody
Don't
wants
no wait, wait,
anything to
wait.
do
Don't
with
say
them.
we're afraid of clowns. You two might
I
be.
am
I know Drew is,
very
but
uncomfortable around clowns.
Well, now everybody's going to be afraid of monkeys.
And it's just it's a way and
I
to
mean,
start the movie off with that. There was no lead into anything else. It was just, camera, here it goes.
oh, that's the tone.
It
It sets
really,
the
yeah, it
tone
did.
a little
It
bit.
really
Yeah.
did.
yeah.